Okay, deck tech. So I actually did a previous deck tech, but it ended up going kind of too long, so I'm going to try to keep this more succinct. Main difference here, I'll cover the sideboard first, Chalice of the Void. Just no other card I can think of helps shore up 3 of our toughest matchups, which are also all over the meta. Burn, Greentron, and Cascade. No other card that I can think of helps shore up all 3 of those. Plus has some splash effects against other decks like Ad Nauseam, which pop up from time to time. And yeah, just and a Hammer Time. Can't forget that this also helps a lot against Hammer Time. Of course, we're pretty decently set up against Hammer Time anyway because of all the hard removal, but you can never. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You can never have enough. You can never have too much hate against Hammer Time. You'll take anything you can get because they are the definition of a juke deck, and anything that can help decrease the chances you get juked is great because no matter how great of a matchup you have, a Hammer Time is literally the juke deck. But yeah, anyway, we've already gone over the other cards. I mean, those familiar with this channel know that we love our Lithophone Blights. Got to replace Fatal Push with something. This is the only card that always draws a card, right? At least draws a card. Plus, it deals with any problematic land like Valakut. But mainly it just or Tron lands, but it mainly is just the best answer to Urza Saga that we possibly could have. Just blows up Urza Saga for 2 mana, draws us a card. And Urza Saga, actually, we're a little soft to it in the main deck. It's not impossible we can grind through it, but it's we're a little soft to it, so it's nice to have some really good hate for that card. If anybody thinks that there's like a better hate card for Urza Saga, let me know. That also draws a card and helps us replace Fatal Push, and also deals with any land, Tron, Valakut, you name it, Celestial Colonnade, whatever. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I mean, we love our Lithophone Blights. It's just, I'm telling you, just you gotta experiment sometimes. Sometimes these cards really are better than they look, mainly because they help shore up weaknesses in the deck. In the abstract, they seem bad, but in your particular deck, they fit the need you need. Yeah, so anyway, I mean, other than that, like Ratchet Bomb, we've seen in all of the decks. We know how great it is. Also helps against Urza Saga because it deals with the tokens. Necromentia helps us deal with big, like Amulet Titan type decks or other decks that play some big spell that we can't recover from if they ever draw it. Yeah, yeah, and of course, the main deck is basically the same as before. Yeah, for those who don't know, we're trying Easy Prey. Still amazes me actually. You'd be surprised how often just leaving up 2 mana to either cycle Easy Prey or just deal with any creature they play on turn, because like this will, I guess, yeah, since it is 2 mana, I guess there's a possibility if we're on the draw, they could drop a 3 mana card and we can't deal with it. But still, this can deal with most of their early plays. And if they either play something we can't deal with, or they just don't play anything, we can just cycle it. So it's always you're never gonna like waste mana on if you leave this up on turn 2. You've got your plan B. If you don't play a creature that you can just zap with this, then you cycle it. I don't know what to say. It's actually way better than it looks. It's not amazing. It's definitely a removal spell you for sure only reach for when you've already exhausted other cards, but I like the way that this gets us down to only Fatal Push as our only dedicated removal spell, so it's the only removal spell that will be completely dead in some matchups. Other than that, all our other removal spells also either double as creatures, discard, or can cycle like Easy Prey. So, I'm not sure if that's a satisfying answer, but that's it's been surprisingly good for us. It fills the need that for us, again, to hit a critical mass of removal, because there's just so much Ragavan and other cards that, like, if we don't have some answer to, we just lose. While also, it's the only way to reach a critical mass of removal while also not just being just too comically and pathetically and badly overextended on that front, since it just cycles if you truly have too much removal that you don't have any use for it. Yeah, and then the rest, I think we've explained enough in detail or make enough sense in their own right. I guess Murderous Rider, I mean, it just helps deal with planeswalkers or gigantic creatures with gigantic converted mana cost, no less. So, because gigantic creatures that cost 2 or less are no problem for us, needless to say. But like Murktide Region comes to mind, huge power and toughness and huge converted mana cost. Or also just planeswalkers, just them dropping Jason upticking can sometimes be like impossible to overcome unless you just put a swift end to him. But other than that, I mean, the main deck is really just trying out these Horizon lands, and just the logic there is just that we're usually taking like 2 to 3 damage from our fetch lands throughout the course of our relatively long games anyway, and I think that there's a decent chance that we're still going to end up taking roughly just 2 to 3 damage because we just hold these until like later in the game. But they're the last lands we play basically always. I've found in most of our other decks, if I'm limiting my Horizon lands to 2, I usually don't end up taking that much damage because they're the last land I play. So I could easily see myself taking 2 to 3 damage. But then unlike the fetch lands, then I draw a card after I've tapped it, 2 or 3 times. So I don't know what to say. Just something to experiment with. I think Horizon lands are powerful enough that they might be worth experimenting in almost any archetype, because especially like in small quantities, might just be better than fetch lands. Just because never underestimate the power to just draw 1 extra card. That can oftentimes be the difference between winning and losing. No joke. Yeah, so we did go down on the fetch lands, so obviously that hurts our Delirium a little bit, but it is worth noting that the fetch lands, the Horizon lands do also turn on. Sorry, not Delirium. Revolt. It is worth noting that the Horizon lands also turn on Revolt. They're not as clean in it because you have to lose the land, but it's also worth noting that we still got our nifty main deck Nihil Spellbomb here in the mix, so that can help. You'd be surprised. Expect this to come up. It has in some practice games. You'd be surprised. But at the end of the day, we just mostly like Fatal Push just to deal with 1 and 2 and costed cards. And yeah, so Nihil Spellbomb is mostly in here, obviously, because we really need to squeeze, in my opinion, the maximum of all these sideboard cards in here, and it's just the most main deckable, being like a cycling card that you can pay in 2 installments, but that also just is one of the best graveyard hate cards ever printed. Maybe even better than Relic of Progenitus in the right deck, and this is definitely one of these types of decks, I think. I guess it is worth noting that we can play Relic of Progenitus now that we don't have Lurrus if we really feel like it. But, Nihil Spellbomb is like, we can't play that in our other decks, so I definitely want to try it here, and I have tried it and I have liked it. Plus, we're not concerned about Tarmogoyf because like basically all our removal spells cover it. So yeah, so most of the reason for playing Relic, which a lot of it is Tarmogoyf, is basically not that big of a deal for us anyway. Other than that, yeah, the Barren Moors just help cycle the because drawing too many lands is just a death sentence. Because the games will go long enough that we will see, maybe half of our deck, and if you think about it, half of a 20 land half of a 20 card of a 20 land deck is going to be 10 lands, and this obviously deck has 24, so that means like if we see half of our deck, we see 12 lands. That can be kind of like it can feel like Mana Flood, but it's not technically Mana Flood if you have 24 lands. That's why I think having these cards like Barren Moor and the Horizon lands really help out, and of course the other utility lands, because they just cut that down a bit. They make it so that when you're halfway into your deck, you're still hitting your land drops, hitting your mana, but you're not necessarily playing like 12 do nothing cards. Yeah, and in that regard, obviously Castle Locthwain, one of the main draws to be playing a mono black deck. Mono black is one of the only colors that consistently that can consistently have it come into play untapped. And with only 10 swamps this time, it is possible it might come into play tapped more often than normal. But with 10 swamps, I think what other deck plays 10 swamps? So I think it'll come into play untapped enough that we're basically one of the only decks that can both make room for it and utilize it untapped enough. And obviously we've seen it work for great effect to us in the past. And then of course, Hive of the Eye Tyrant, I guess that's the last thing to discuss. It's just kind of like last league, or like we explained last time, just very surprising with that menace ability. I actually thought it was a vanilla 3/3 at first, so I thought it was the worst. That menace actually makes this card way better. If this card didn't have menace, it would be very mediocre, because it would mostly just be, it'd just be very mediocre. It would still be surprisingly free because of the comes into play untapped clause, but anyway. But the fact that it is utility, it has evasion, and it is also worth noting that some decks that play an obscene amount of removal, we do have the ability to play around that to some extent, at least as long as the removal doesn't also tag Lily. Is we can uptick on our turn, and unlike all these other cards, which both sorcery speed removal and any creature removal really can hit at any time, if we uptick with Lily before we animate Hive of the Eye Tyrant, then we may be able, to keep, if we can keep them hellbent, we may be able to keep them off their removal spells that can actually stop this, and we may be able to prevent some seriously grindy games where they're killing all our creatures. And that's a real possibility when we don't play Bloodghast or Skycave Shade. You know, the cards that kind of overpowered some decks that play like a ton of burn spells. Like obviously Burn comes to mind. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Let's get to the games. Obviously we got to 10 minutes. Hey, the last one was 20. Smash that like button. Gotta remember to try to say this earlier on. But yeah, smash that like button if you like this content. Hope you enjoyed the deck tech. Let's get to the games. Alright, match 1. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll keep. We don't know what we're up against, and Liliana could be a total bomb. Of course, it could also be a total bomb in the other way. It all depends on the matchup. And with an opposing Lurrus, Liliana definitely could probably be worse. Well, I guess I have to try to play a Turok out. I don't particularly like this, but sometimes they don't have a removal spell, and those times they don't have a removal spell, it could be the difference in winning and losing. Also, if they do have a removal spell, it decreases the chances that they have enough mana to work with whatever they reveal off the top of my library. You know, they can work with that if they really want. I guess they don't really want it that bad. Well, we got easy prey. Unfortunately, we have to choose. We have to make a Sophie's choice here. Let's see. I think we'll hit Ragavan. But if we hit... No, we have to hit Ragavan. It's just... No, we have to hit Kavu. Because also they might just have another Ragavan in hand. We have to just hope that there's no really good card they can take from us. Yeah, it's not that great for them. Easy Prey is a good card, but I think we want a Turok. I wonder why it didn't... Yeah. But see, facing down 2 Kavus is way worse than this Ragavan and a Kavu. They seem to have like everything they need, but maybe Liliana and Easy Prey gets us there. Alright, third Lightning Bolt. Not sure how exactly they have more creatures than us, given that we well, you know what it is. They've got 2 lands and we got 6. That's what happened. I mean, normally it wouldn't be that bad if we could get the Lily going for a little longer, but That's a little disheartening, but maybe with Ratchet Bomb we have just enough removal to be over the top. I mean, like, gee, our entire deck is removal. Like, look, removal, 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 removal. Could be removal, because we do hit creatures. I guess Nihil Spellbomb is the least removal. Yeah. If those Nihil Spellbombs were Ratchet Bombs, a different type of bomb, then might have been better shape. I have to imagine we're pretty well positioned with literally our entire deck being removal. Alright, we'll keep. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the kind of deck we're hoping to face. We've got endless creature removal. They've got endless creatures. So we have endless targets for our removal. We just have to be able to tank a few burn spells to the face, and we should be fine. Because that's how we come out ahead. If we deal with enough of their creatures, then their burn spells to the face aren't necessarily that much of a concern to us. If they have a critical mass of burn spells, then that's a problem, because then we have to start worrying about getting burned out from the top of our deck. But thankfully, that's not really in the cards too much. And we'll Fatal Push. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll Ratchet Bomb because we got nothing better to do. They could Ragadash us, but so be it. There's only like 8 actual 1-drops for them to hit. One of which, Fatal Push, doesn't even do anything in this board state. And them spending 2 mana to get a treasure token and deal 2 damage to us, it's good, but it's not like... As long as they don't do that repeatedly, we shouldn't be in that bad of a space. Alright, that's fine. We got our easy prey. I guess we'll easy prey now, or we'll Fatal Push now to play around Veil of Summer. Alright, well, easy prey time. I may need to deal with a 3-drop, so I just don't want to be too obstinate. Alright, easy prey. Guess we'll Collective Brutality while we can. See what we take out. I guess Prismatic Ending deals with the Ratchet Bomb, doesn't it? But Tribal Flames, like, this could become easily a problem eventually. Yeah, let's get rid of Prismatic Ending. I don't want them getting rid of my Ratchet Bomb. My Ratchet Bomb is a nice, clean, easy answer to their Scourge of the Skyclaves. Yep, and we'll leave this on 2. Oh, might as well. Another Tribal Flames. Yeah, I guess we'll... because we don't want to, like, take too much of a beating. Alright, easy prey time. Alrighty, Liliana. And we'll hopefully... well, I guess they can one-shot this with Tribal Flames, so they'll probably discard Lightning Bolt. Yep. At least the Tribal Flames won't go face, which is always nice. Or it does go face. Alrighty. Let's see here. Loris to hand. I'll leave Chalice on, Ratchet Bomb on 2. Should I hit the Bauble or the DRC? Probably the DRC. I'm going to start attacking. Ready. Even if they draw a land and... well, actually they can't draw a land and flashback a 2-drop. They could draw a land and flashback on 1-drop, but... Ready. Why didn't they bring back Mishra? The world may never know. A 1, a 2, a 3. Alrighty. Alright, let's see. This hand can be kind of clunk, but let's see. On the cuddle. Okay. Our turn. Okay. What did I think? What are they thinking to do? Pardon me, but let me see if I'm connected. Okay, I'm connected just fine. Yeah, this could be bad for us, but we'll have to see. Okay, if I hit Territorial Kavu, that'll seriously stymie their aggression. Although Rancor could be a problem. Yeah, Rancor plus no, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, it's gotta be Territorial Kavu. But they're still gonna attack for 5 next turn with Rancor. Playing out Gatekeeper doesn't seem great because they just trample over it and Island, wait a minute. Yeah, they can't, I guess they can't get Island if they want to fully pump the Nicodle, so I guess they can't use Stubborn Denial. Yeah, because they needed both a mountain and a plains. Well, we would have been able to play around, okay. Yeah, let's play around Stubborn Denial, shall we? And Veil of Summer. Alrighty. Well, they ain't gonna play that Stubborn Denial anytime soon. Luris to hand, okay. Alright, I'm Lilianaing, because I think these Ratchet Bombs are a little clunky. This is also just an efficient play. Alrighty. I guess that makes sense. Okay, Rancor. And they just give up. Because I guess we Gatekeeper. They don't really have Gatekeeper though, but yeah. I guess the Liliana is kind of just going to do its thing. Well, alright. Hey, a win's a win, right? Alright, match 2. Yeah, we'll keep. I mean, got a pretty decent curve going. This is our first league. We get to see how, oh, a burn. Well, considering how they just have 1 mana burn, maybe we take Riftbolt. Yeah, Riftbolt seems like, ironically... Now, Lightning Bolt is just the objectively better card. Or Searing Blaze. Yeah, we'll take Lightning Bolt. Alright, Ratchet Bomb. Ooh, we Searing Blaze them. Escalate. Take Searing Blaze. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty. I would have thought they'd, oh, okay. Well, they could just hit this thing. Yeah, let's play Gatekeeper. Then maybe next turn they won't be able to deal with this. We might be able to hit 2 things with Turok, which is nice. So far, this thing it dealt exactly as much damage as a fetch land would, but it will probably draw us a card at some point, so it might be better. Just got to try to evaluate this as best as possible. Boros Charm. Alrighty. Yeah, Turok is a big boy. It's on the turn 2 clock. We could Swift Ride that, which we probably should, considering that they're on a 2-turn clock. On the other hand, we don't want to bring ourselves down to 6, so we'll attack. So this could be a mistake, but let's do it. And then we can crack the Peatland at a turn. Okay, cool. Yeah, so actually Peatland was better this game than a fetch land. It did exactly 1 damage to us, plus it would have cracked. Alrighty, good stuff. Chalice for sure. Boros Burn 1-0. What to take out? Probably Spellbomb. Is there any other changes? We need this for early interaction. Need this for obviously this is da bomb. Collective Brutality is da bomb. Easy Prey is kind of a necessary evil. Turok obviously won us that game. Gatekeeper, Liliana. It's all good stuff. None of it is particularly amazing, but all of these cards are either necessary to stymie their aggression, or, like Turok, are situationally possibly game... Like Lorok, Liliana, and Murderous Rider are situationally game-winning cards. And Chalice, of course, is the bee's knees. I'm gonna mulligan because we can do better. Well, I think this is better. We have 2 early interaction. We don't need 2 Taroks. And yeah, if we don't draw a second land, we're in big trouble, but I am willing to run that risk. Okay, see, good thing we had early interaction, otherwise we would have just... Please land, please land, please land. Yes! And we have officially been unmulliganed. In fact, we would have had to have discarded a card, or we would have had to have played the Fatal Push on our turn. If we hadn't mulliganed, maybe we draw another card. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to do this. I'm probably going to easy prey. I'm doing it like this in case they have like a Swift Spear or something. Yes, we get blown out by Boros Charm, but okay. Yeah, now I know this is that we might end up shutting off our own Fatal Push, but they are very likely to drop another Eidolon or some type of creature, and we could drop Chalice plus Fatal Push next turn. Or we could just drop Liliana and uptick. Choices. I'm just going to Liliana uptick. And then maybe we play Chalice on 2 next turn, or Turok, we'll see. Chalice on 1 could have been good. Yeah, Chalice on 1 could have been good. Yeah, Chalice on 1 could have been good. Well, maybe we down tick plus Turok. Let's see, that actually could be game winning right here. Yeah, no, not quite. Well, let's continue to let's continue to uptick. Let's do this. We need a way to actually win the game, so gotta get rid of Turok. Gotta get rid of Easy Prey. Plus this can deal with pretty much anything. Alrighty. Alright, I think might as well play Turok. I mean, it's like the same thing, actually, whether we play Turok and uptick. I feel a little bit cooler playing Turok and then upticking. It's literally the exact same thing, though. Alrighty. Now we may need to factor Fiction. Maybe not this turn, but when Lily is at 7. We may need to just separate the Vortex from their lands. Alrighty. Alrighty. Yeah, and I like the way they're stuck with some uncastable white cards in hand so that my Turok can continue to grow. I mean, I could uptick. But I'll downtick. If I bring them down to 1, Yeah, actually bring them down to 1 is probably better. I'll just separate them so that they have to keep 1 land. And get rid of the vortex. Yeah, I'll get rid of the vortex. Because if I just put them on 1 land, then they could draw land next turn, kill me. Yeah. So they're angling for like well, they can't even play that card. So I'm not sure how they overcome this. Now they're dead to their own Roiling Vortex, and there's nothing that gets around Chalice. Yeah, this was a, yeah. Well, alright, taking it down against Boros Burn. Nice. Alright. Match 3, Pure Jank. Alrighty, and this hand looks very doable. This hand looks very doable. I'd like to see a little more action out of my Horizon lands, but you know, so be it. Clothis in a. This looks like a Temur mid-range deck. Remian's going to be freaking annoying with Liliana, but I guess Brazen Borrower is very similar. These things are going to be an issue dealing with. It's got to be Clothis. I like that I can take down exactly what they're playing after game 1. Okay, not bad. A petty theft. Stomp. Yeah, they played Triome. I guess I take Remand to clear the path for Liliana next turn. I don't know why it reveals the Stomp and whatnot as separate cards. The difference with Remand as opposed to Brazen Borrower is that I get to uptick and their card costs 3 mana, whereas drawing a random card, they could draw a cheaper card. Let's see, hopefully this resolves at least, but then I'm going to predict they Brazen Borrower it, because it's a pretty good Brazen Borrow target. Alrighty. I think it's got to be Easy Prey. Also because this is necessary to turn on a Fatal Push. That's not what I predicted, but hey. Yeah, still gonna get rid of this. I'm not too threatened by the Ice Fang, but I do feel like I need this to turn on turn on Revolt. Oh, this must be the Temur Rhinos deck. I haven't seen anything that technically costs... Oh no, Remand. Why aren't they playing their Snow-Covered Forest? Am I missing something? Oh, they discarded it. Okay. Well, now I'm missing that Easy Prey. Dang it, actually. It's not going to work. So this is an enchantment creature. So you get 2 for the price of 1. But then they get instant, sorcery, and artifact. Alright, I think that was worth it. Obviously, they just discard whatever. It's gotta be Remand. Now we may soak up at least 1 attack with the Liliana, which is not the worst thing in the world. It's like chump blocking with a Gatekeeper. But we got to uptick and downtick. Or they just stomped that. Okay, fine. Well, at least we absorbed a stomp that maybe our Turok would have taken. Alright, let's see. Let's get our Turok game going. Okay, we're Turoking now. Well, they still have a hand. I feel like my win rate's pretty good when I resolve a Turok in this kind of spot. Obviously, they're going to attack, but going down to 8 if we Murderous Rider may not be the worst. Easy Prey is better against specifically Remand. This could be a total mistake. Let's see. At least we did it on their upkeep, so if they have Remand... Okay, good. Alrighty. Actually, maybe we should have held the Swift End for the Bone Crusher, but taking that much damage against Bone Crusher is not exactly the most appealing. Alright, I can always just cycle Easy Prey. Let's see. Let's see. I'm predicting Bloodbraid Elf. Yep. I'm going to call this Temur Waterfalls. Why not just play Temur Rhinos, I wonder? I mean, I'll gain the life back in an attack, or I can block. So maybe that's better. I think blocking's better. I'll easy prey this. Alrighty. What should we remove? I guess a land if they've got one. I don't see a land. Yeah, there we go. There's a land. To make Renin 6 slightly worse. Alrighty. Hey, however, the Eye Tyrant doing some serious work. So they're going to fire ice. Or that. Alright, well, where'd their fire ice go? Oh, I guess they... Alright, so here's the deal. They're going to have to block with both, so we'll just trade with the Bone Crusher. And I guess we'll hit the Electrolyze in case they draw Snapcaster Mage. Oh, if we attack with both, we had to win. Alright, so obviously we just do it like that. Alrighty. Oh, just in case we draw into like a collective brutality, you never know. Let's see if we draw a removal spell. Yep, we draw a removal spell. Alright, GG's. Yep, I guess we salvaged that. Yeah, because if we attacked with both of those and they had two blockers, they would have had to block both to the Bugbear, and then the Turok would have got through. So, happens. Let's see here. Yeah, and actually, see, the Horizon Land really saved us there, didn't it? That was sweet. So I don't know if save's the right word, but definitely clinching a victory is clinching a victory. No two ways about that. I want Ratchet Bomb, but I also... Collective Brutality can help clear the way for like Liliana resolving, but I don't know. This is a tough. Yeah, Nihil Spellbomb is really conditional, so I think we'll go after Ratchet Bomb. Now I'm a little bit worried that they got Urza. I didn't see a ton of artifacts though, but all they really need is Mishra's Bottle, and then Urza Saga can do its thing. But I'm not gonna bring in Lithophone Blight. I mean, Ratchet Bomb is actually also does double duty against Urza Saga, so that's a good reason to bring it in. But I'm not bringing in Lithophone Blight until I see Urza Saga. That's my general rule. I mean, unless we're playing a deck like Hammer Time, which is like basically guaranteed to have it. Well, we got early interaction. We've got a way to generate card advantage. We've got the goods. Yeah. It's funny, the opponent thinks they're pure jank. They don't know the meaning of the word jank. If they think they're jank, what does that make us? For jank. Alrighty. I don't think Lightning Bolt is really that great, so Bone Crusher it is. They had something that I think they have Remand. Oh, they had... Doesn't say what they're... Oh, they revealed Fire, Ice, and Fire, Ice. That's weird. Oh, I guess that's how it works these days. So confusing. And they drew another Fire, Ice. Well, actually, I guess that's the Fire, Ice. Yeah, let's just do this. I mean, our only real play was hold up Easy Prey / cycle it, which I guess is slightly better than holding up Fatal Push. Yeah, I guess we'll get a basic. I mean, what else are we supposed to do, right? They played the Wooded Foothills. Yeah. Well, we've got the Swift End for Jace the Mind Sculptor. That's always good. I don't think they've seen our hand too. Seeing the opponent's hand is actually a huge part of what makes black a strong color. Alrighty. Going to take one of their best cards, and also, you know, in general, they're going to keep their hand because they've got a winning strategy in their hand in some fashion, and we get to see that. Like here, we get to see Jace. Alright, so they probably think they've got this locked up, but this is where the Swift End comes in. The Swift End, as we call it in the business. We're gonna swiftly end Jace. Alrighty. We'll hold up Cycling Barren Moor / play Fatal Push. Gotta love it. Obviously the Lightning Bolt, but you know, it is what it is. I guess Lithophone Blight could be good against Raging Ravine. That's something to consider. But just good old Fatal Push can also deal with it. But it doesn't draw a card when doing so. Let's see what they got. Veil of Summer. Okay, fair enough. Ice Fang. I guess we'll hold up a land just in case they try to Veil of Summer, protect the Raging Ravine. Clearly the Raging Ravine is the more threatening card. I'm just gonna try to keep this. Huntmaster of the Fells. Alright, well I guess I've got to get a little bit aggressive here. Yeah, I guess we do have to get aggressive. I'm a little concerned though, because getting hit by the Raging Ravine is not cool. But if we draw another land, we can also just uptick with the Liliana. Alright, well not that land though. Maybe we'll play this, and then we'll... Yeah, maybe we'll play this. Because we want to bait them to try to use a removal spell on it. Because we play this, it's almost the same thing, but like we want to get full value out of both Lilianas, and the way we do that is we want them to use a removal spell on this one. Which seems like a reasonable thing for them to do. Yeah, or use Raging Ravine. That's good. Maybe I'll just uptick and discard the Gatekeeper. They may set off alarm bells from them though, but... I mean, I gotta try to resolve the Lily while I can. And I have to try to deal with the Raging Ravine. If it's remand, at least this goes back to our hand. If it's Fail Summer, it is what it is. Okay, cool. If it's Tarmogoyf, we can down tick. Okay, we can down tick. Or we can Gatekeeper uptick. That works too. Alright, man. We're basically like mono black Jund at this point. This must be how it feels roughly to play Jund. A rough approximation. Just with mono black instead of Jund. Yeah, it's been bolted. Alrighty, let's see. Maybe we get to Ultimate Lily, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I guess we uptick. And then we go bam, 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 bam. Yes. Yes, I love it. And we probably sacrifice Nurturing Peatland, although maybe not. Yeah, I think we do. We don't draw 2 lands off the top, that would suck. I'm a little bit worried about a petty theft. Let's just ultimate while we can. Okay, the basics are clearly not as useful. Can we color screw them? Yeah, get their colors or more mana that doesn't have red. I like it. Yeah, they chose the colors. Understandable. I probably shouldn't have ultimated Lily, but I just had this sixth sense that somehow maybe they had a. I probably should have just upticked with Lily and discarded the Murderous Rider. Or drew a card first. I don't know. But trust me, I got this feeling that they got Brazen Borrower and they're going to petty theft. I think they meant to wait till our draw step. Yeah, we have to attack because that's the main way we get ahead on the damage race. I think they want to save the Viliana, or they want to, I don't know. Maybe they don't have Brazen Borrower. Okay. Wish I had a way to enable Revolt. Let's see. Well, maybe not. I hope they don't Veil Summer for a third time. There's the Brazen Borrower I was kind of wondering about. I don't want to lose 2 life, but I think I have to. I need to turn on. What do you call it? Revolt. I drew a lot of lands. Already. Well, there's our Revolt right there. Just in case they have, I don't know, Veil of Summer. Okay. Well, the good news is we can hit this. Now let's see if they draw Bloodbraid. Or a Burn Spell. So even if they kill any of my creatures, I still have Collective Brutality to finish off. Alright, GG's. I think it's just lag. Alrighty. Let's see here. They drew a bunch of cards, I see. All right, match 4. Let's go. Hey. Hey, 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 hey. And hey, we're 3-0. We'll see. And this hand is definitely looking like it's got potential. Yeah, this hand definitely looks like it has potential, as they say. Turn off auto yields. Yeah, and let's Inquisition. Well, 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 what is this? Blazing Root Walla, Bone Shards, Fury. I think Blazing Root Walla. I'm a little worried about what they might draw with Neonate, but Blazing Root Walla is just the objectively more powerful. Oh, that was a big mistake. I totally forgot that they could just cast it for... Oh, man. It's been a while. Oh, man, I used to play Basking Root Walla, too. I guess it just... Oh, man. It's just, It happens. I need to think. I guess... You know what it is? I need to read the frickin' card. That's what it is. That is the Magic players... must do, is you gotta read the magic card. At least I force it out of their hands so I can Collective Brutality it. I mean, look on the bright side, right? We can hit Bone Shards. Just to get more bang out of our buck. Let's do it this way. And they drew Ragavan too. Okay. I think we tick up with... yeah, maybe we just Murderous Ride the Ragavan. I kind of like that. Ideally not the Insolent Neonate. Alrighty. Maybe I actually have to Easy Prey, because I can always Easy Prey the Neonate and then Liliana down tick. I'm a little bit worried about actually Fury, so I think I'll do that. Neonate. This could be the perfect opportunity to uptick with Liliana, actually. When else am I going to have this opportunity? And, you know, I'm just upticking. It's just efficient use of my mana. I want to get Liliana on the table. Just start doing its thing. Maybe bait out a Fury, so I can swiftly end it. If they don't draw another mana for one more turn, maybe I Liliana out of reach, or soak up some damage from the Neonates. That was a good hit. I don't know if I agree with that, but I can understand their logic. They want to just cleanly deal with the Liliana, but yeah, that uptick was huge. I want to get to the point where ideally I uptick their Fury away. Alrighty, did they draw another one? Okay. Grist the Hunger Tide. Well, I can, okay, well, I guess that's fair enough. Well, I'm definitely, swift ending something. I'm just waiting, because if they play Fury, I have to swift end that. But if not, then I'll swift end the Grist. And hope that I somehow draw an answer to Fury later on. Alright. This could be really bad if they top deck a land and can Fury, but, you know. Oh, okay, there we go. I don't have a clean answer to Fury anymore, other than like the sacrifice effects. That's a little bit of an issue. Well, let's see here. Man, that's one clean answer, but I think 6, 7, 8, yeah, they're gonna immediately turn it off. So if we just had one more mana, we'd be in pretty good shape. I don't know how would things have been different if I had taken the Neonate instead. We would have taken a lot less damage. Maybe Liliana would still be, no, I don't know. Well, Ratchet Bomb for sure. That was John's madness. I don't know how. I feel like there's a graveyard synergy in there that we just weren't seeing. So maybe. I don't know. What am I supposed to take out? I need all this removal for Ragavan and all the other stuff they got going on. I guess Ratchet Bomb it is. Trusty old Ratchet Bomb. that's super bad. I think I can only keep this hand on the play because my curve essentially starts at 2 mana. Raggy. Alright, well maybe we play Locthwain. Maybe we play Ratchet Bomb. This will at least deter them playing another 1-drop, and then maybe we can Gatekeeper and go from there. As long as they don't reveal an Inquisition, I think we should be good. I think Inquisition is the only 1-drop they can reveal off the top. I guess they can reveal it some type of 2-drop maybe. That could be good, but they can only play that as the Rider. They can't play that as the... Yeah, what am I kidding? They get to 3 mana, so they can play a good chunk of our stuff. But we can still force them to sacrifice the Rider. Okay, Stitcher Supplier, Kaboosh. Alright, well, I'm just a little surprised that they just... I guess they want more graveyard shenanigans. You know, who can blame them? Graveyard shenanigans are the best, aren't they? Yeah, let's just get a Lily out here. Lily uptick. Lily discarding the Lily is probably the best proposition, but Lily is also our best chance at winning. Maybe we don't want to be too willy-nilly with her. Yeah, but let's be honest, this is just the way to go, because then, you know, then I can just curve out removal for anything they can try to play to kill it. I just have this sagging feeling that they somehow have a way to deal with this thing. It could be Grist. Force of Vigor. Well, psh. That's the easiest Ratchet Bomb crack I've ever done. Yeah, see, I'm going to discard Gatekeeper. Blazing Rootwalla? Okay, good. If they can't somehow deal with this next turn, which they could with Vengevine, for example, then man, Vengevine has some good value. But see, I was prepared for this. I've got my backup Liliana. And I can Murderous Ride the Vengevine. Yeah, clearly I got to Murderous Ride the Vengevine. Swiftly end. Oh man, I hope they can't play my Liliana. But if they can't play my Liliana, they may have 2 creatures. Okay. Man, that's a little awkward. Not gonna lie. That is a little awkward. Well, let's cycle, see what we got. Yeah, I like it. Let's do this. Because then we can play Easy Prey. Oh man. Always feels like we run into these weird mid-range decks that I don't know if it's fair to say they go over the top of us, but they seem to hit us in some weird angle that we're not that I don't know. I don't think we're like cold to this or anything, but definitely like I didn't know, I guess, to prepare for Vengevine. Otherwise, I would have left the spell bombs in, and I probably should have taken the. Okay. Alrighty. I'm in serious trouble though without the spell bomb. I need that to deal with the Vengevine, unfortunately. I really wasn't familiar with this deck though, and the Inquisition helps to deal with an early onslaught a little bit better. But I should have probably intuited from seeing all this discard effect that they probably had Vengevine. I definitely could have intuited that. See, that's the good thing about mono red, is like there's all these like decks that you don't really know what they're up to. You just slam Blood Moon and then they just fold. So like you don't actually have to play around too much stuff, and like you just have kind of bigger overall power to bail you out. Yeah, also these graveyard cards are pretty good against discard, so that's another issue I have. I think we have to do this. How do they still only have 2 cards in their hand? I thought I saw their hand last turn. So how do they still have Ox and Fury? I don't see Ox in their graveyard. I must be missing something. I actually can't tick up Lily because I can't let that Ox hit their graveyard. Then all heck breaks loose. It's just really unclear to me how I don't know, maybe we make something happen here. I don't know. What is this Ox like a lie or something? Why isn't... I don't see the Ox in their graveyard. If they're trying to be clever, I guess they wanted to add double Vengevine, but Ox helps enable the Vengevine, and it's a 5/3 body out of the yard. Yeah, I'm not sure that I fully get this. Yeah, but whatever it is, I have to try to win with just damage. I'm not winning this with a... Please don't slam something that enables Vengevine. I don't have a way to enable Delirium, Adventure yet. Revolt. Grist. Okay, well I can hit the token with this. Ah, okay, I guess this counts as a creature. Well, at least I can hit one of these Vengevines with the Fatal Push, since they're gonna target this, obviously. And I guess I can make them discard with Liliana. I mean, sacrifice. Just have to remember to click the sacrifice button. Yeah, there we go. And at least they're further away from Ox. They can block with that 1/1 token indefinitely, which is not nice. Well, I guess I can clear it out of the way with Collective Brutality. Oh no, I got a bad feeling about this. Oh, maybe it's okay. Alrighty. I think I have to escape. Yeah, they have to block, but they'll block with the token, and they can kill the Liliana. And the Liliana is the key to somehow coming back, or is it? I don't even know if it is. What's the point? That just produces another token. Yeah, trading the Liliana essentially for the token just doesn't seem like a good deal. I guess they can downtick, but then they lose the grist, so. I don't know what happened to that Ox. If anybody can help me understand, there's something I'm missing. Maybe it got shuffled away. I don't know why I would have looked at the top card of the library. What happened to the Ox? That is the question. I could block the token and then downtick. I don't see what that does. I guess I have to somehow make something happen. That's obviously not going to happen, so. Well. Alright, match 5. So, you know, upon reflection, obviously this hand can be a little clunky, but it's got decent, you know, stuff going for it. But yeah, like, I really needed Nihil Spellbomb in that last match. Although I guess I didn't see any Ratchet Bombs, so I guess it wouldn't have made a difference. But I may have still cited in Ratchet Bomb and then cited something else out. It's just the Ragavans that throw me off. Those just go in every deck and force you to have to respect it. Maybe they should ban Ragavan, but then no, we just bought our Ragavans in paper too. That would suck. But it is kind of dumb though. Like, we have to like respect it because it like literally enhances any red deck. I like not having to respect cards, but yeah. Well, this is gonna get coming to play top at the end of the turn, no matter what. Yeah, let's hold up interaction with either easy prey or fatal push. Probably easy prey. We don't want to get ragged dashed. I guess we'll cycle this though, because we do need to hit our land drops, and we don't want to. See, that's just a nice little thing you can do with this card. I got a lot of cycling with the Moors. I guess I'm going to go for Liliana because they can't actually counter it this turn unless they play. Okay. Yeah, Brutality could be nice. Fatal Push could be nice. I guess I'll just do the cowardly thing and I'll get rid of the land. It just seems like the easier. Oh, it's Storm. Well, good thing I held on to Fatal Push. Hopefully they can't go off now. Okay, good. Yeah, Liliana actually helps put pressure on Storm. I'll better know what to discard if I do this first. I think Manamorphose. I think I need to take Gifts Ungiven, but then they can go off if they hit a ritual. But I can't afford to let them gifts next turn. I'll discard the Gatekeeper. Sunland Division. I guess I'll take Barrel because that allows me to uptick without fear. I need to start attacking with the Hive too. I think I need to Liliana downtick on that one. Alright, well, let's get rid of that Past in Flames, shall we? Yeah, man, Hive of the what is it called? Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Such an underrated card. So underrated. I need to take out the Manamorphose. That's obviously how they generate mana, which is how they go off. Hard to go off with their hand constantly getting chipped away. Gotta get rid of those rituals. I think we're going to double uptick with Lily. Alrighty. And I think we're in a pretty good spot. Unfortunately, I've got 2 rituals I'm going to have to work on. Alright, well, I'll down tick on that one. Yeah, I'll down tick. The uptick is mostly what's powerful anyway. Alrighty. Okay. They probably should have tried to repeal in response to my little hammer. But, anyway. I might not have fallen for it depending on what I drew, but anyway. Ratchet Bomb for the tokens. Empty the Warrens. Chalice on 2 to shut them off. Yeah, I like Chalice. In this matchup, Nihil Spellbomb to interact with the grave. Great way to deal with their creatures and instant speed. I think this card is way too clunky. This card is probably a necessary evil. Easy Prey, I think, is not super easy. Believe it or not, I'm leaving Gatekeeper in mostly just as a 2-mana 2/2 clock. Like, this deck just needs a clock. I mean, we really, yeah. I mean, and you see, this is the thing. Some of these cards are very mediocre in certain matchups, but the hope is that we have a good enough game across the board, and we're never like, yeah. Like, some of these cards are kind of mediocre, but they're, like, serviceable. Okay. Well, we've got interaction to mostly what they're doing in the beginning. Okay. I'm going to play this while I can. Because next turn I'm most likely going to have to leave up Fatal Push so I can play Spellbomb, Fatal Push. I guess I could have just played Spellbomb this turn, but I'm going to play it around Remand. Okay, that's fine. And I could have gone end of turn Fatal Push too. No? Alright, well, got to do that. Alright, there's no universe in which not Fatal Pushing that is correct. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, let's Inquisition. Wish could be a little bit of a problem, but Pieces of the Puzzle can too. A piece of the puzzle is cheaper, but Bayral, they can actually start going off next turn. But go off into what? Yeah, that could be wrong, but I'm going to Piece of the Puzzle. I've played against that card enough to respect it. It's the reason why it's not in the main deck typically is that it's just kind of clunky. Like it's better when they know they're not under a lot of pressure to win immediately. And that's us to a T. Okay, well, hopefully they don't completely go off. We do have Nihil Spellbomb to interact a little bit. Okay, that's not the ritual we saw, so they drew another one. Got a desperate ritual in here. They can wish for something. Okay, the wish is the last card in their hand. I mean, I got Empty the Warrens, and we got we've got what's it called? We forgot to play it. We've been there, man. We saw that. We saw that happen to us. It happened to us too. We saw it. It happened on camera. We wished and didn't play the thing. But I don't know what it is they could have played. If it's Past in Flames, we had Nihil Spellbomb. If it's Empty the Warrens, we have Ratchet Bomb. So I don't know. I mean, we still had a game 3 to go, even if somehow they had us. But oh, never mind. They didn't pass through it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what the last card in their hand is. Alright, well, whatever it is, it's getting Turoked. Ooh. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil. Oh, that's a good card to Turok away. So, cycling Barren Moor is tempting, but I think we have to get our Hive Tyrant game going. Exiling cards is also a big game. Yep. Alright, 2-turn clock. We can try Turoking this one card out of their hand. It's probably, I think that's probably a good idea. Guess they reband. It would have been way better to just attack with the, well, but I guess they ended up discarding anyway, so. From the Barrel's ability. Alright, this gives us some play against whatever it is they have. Alright, we're going to go for Collective Brutality plus Gatekeeper. At 2 modes. And 2 life. Discard Turok. Okay, that's fine. let's do this, I guess. Alrighty, well, 4-1. Hey, can't complain. Yeah, I mean, deck felt pretty solid. Just tricky against that graveyard-based. Yeah, I forgot to say it was that graveyard-based deck. What is it? Pure Jank. No, Archit's 05. That player. Wait a minute. No. Sorry. M Margolis. That player was the one that that was the player who had that weird deck. See, the thing is, those decks are always tricky. I don't think they're unbeatable, but they could be bad matchups. We would need to test more because just so much of our deck is focused on killing stuff and sending stuff to the graveyard. We do have Nihil Spellbomb. Actually, Nihil Spellbomb in the main deck might even be a necessary evil, kind of, because so much of our deck is focused on like sending stuff to the graveyard, discard, destroy stuff, you know. And when they have a deck that's focused on the graveyard, then you know, like our cards don't. Anyway, but anyway, let's just save this for the post-league wrap-up. And I suppose I could just do the post-league wrap-up right now, but yeah, let's actually see the deck, shall we? All right. Okay. Post-league wrap-up. So, yeah. So, obviously, our only loss here prevented us from getting a 5-0 was the Jund Madnessvine deck, I'm calling it. I think this deck was... We could have had a better showing against this deck if we would have predicted that they would have brought in, or that they were like a Vengevine deck, because then we would have left in the Spellbombs. Then again, it's possible we might not have drawn them. I think we got mana screwed a little bit, if I remember correctly, but anyway, it's been a while since that game. But obviously, like Hive of the Eye Tyrant can sometimes help take those out of the graveyard, but I think that just didn't line up right. But yeah, so at the end of the day, it's always going to be tricky facing a deck that heavily utilizes the graveyard, because so much of our deck sends stuff to the graveyard, either from discard or from just destroying creatures. But hey, you know, Nihil Spellbomb gives us a fighting chance, I think, even against those types of decks. But yeah, you know, still possibly beatable. But it's you know, nobody's just crying over spilled milk, since this isn't like a gimme matchup anyway. So you know, it happens. You can't win them all. You can't win them all the time. You can win them all some of the times. You can win yeah, you can win them all some of the times, and you can win some of them all of the time, but you can't win all of them all the time. And yeah, so we certainly can't beat this deck all the time. So yeah, anyway, yeah, and Domain Zoo, obviously on some level, we just want to see decks like this that just jam a million creatures when we have a million removal spells. On the other hand, like in game 1, sometimes when they do just happen to have a few more creatures and you have a removal spell, they just overrun you. Which, I mean, even with how many removal spells we play, which still can happen, which, for anybody wondering why I'm playing this many removal spells, this Domain Zoo deck is kind of an example of that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Just, this is emblematic of what I think this deck's trying to do, which is completely control the early game with aggressive decks like that, and then take over the mid game, which we pretty much did, and then there you go. Boros Burn. If I remember correctly, I think Chalice was possibly super helpful. Liliana is definitely one of the unsung heroes in the burn matchup. It never outright wins the game, but I think Lily plus Chalice definitely gives us a fighting chance, and we did take down burn that time. Definitely plus for playing Chalice. Unfortunately, I think, yeah. So we also brought it in against Izzet Storm, but I don't think we actually. We had it, but I don't think we actually ended up playing it. We didn't get to playing it for some reason, if I remember correctly. Anyway, if nothing else, at least we know that our Chalice helped us in the burn matchup. Temur Waterfalls. I thought this might have been Rhinos when I incorrectly forgot about the Remand for a second, so I thought the Chalices might come in this one, but no. Still, at the end of the day, it's a mid-range deck, and we're kind of the outjun the Jund deck, so not surprising that we took that one. Jund Madnessvine, I went over that. Izzet Storm, this is actually another concerning matchup. It's not one of the it's not Burn Tron or Cascade, but you know, Izzet Storm is another good example of why I'm actually really feeling Chalice as a sideboard card in this deck, because again, Izzet Storm's another deck that lives off the top of the library. Yeah, Liliana can help to some extent, but you know, Chalice really helps. Especially, I mean, you want to stick Chalice on too, which I don't think we did, but it almost just ends the game on the spot. So anyway, definitely plus to playing Chalice. I feel pretty confident that Chalice is at least worth exploring more. I can't honestly see why I wouldn't play it right now, unless I'm missing something. I just love cards that cover a lot of problematic matchups at the same time, and Chalice also sometimes just covers them really well. There's not much more you can ask from a card, right? Other than a card that covers a lot of problematic matchups and has the potential to just completely juke and cover them really well. Sometimes, yeah, they can remove it, but sometimes it just runs away with the game. Can't really think of many more sideboard options that do what Chalice does in that regard. So yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Main deck actually feels pretty good. Easy Prey, surprisingly just fit the curve super well. It just did what I wanted it to do. Was never like exceptional, but never was bad. Did exactly what I put it in the deck to do. I never flooded out on removal, but I also had plenty of removal. I had plenty of removal if I need it. I never flooded out if I didn't. Easy Prey. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know I don't even know if I would think about this card much if it wasn't so many players' avatars. So, so thank you all these players who play the Easy Prey avatar. I didn't even know this card existed. But yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Once again, just completely blowing away all my expectations. The Horizon lands exactly like I suspected. They only lost me a few points of life during the game, and then they cracked and drew me a card. Sometimes late in the game, I just drew them and cracked them immediately, in which case I think they're just strictly better than the fetch lands. The Delirium was, I mean, not Delirium, the Revolt was a little bit of an issue at times, but honestly, the fetch lands are not a guarantee for Revolt anyway, because a lot of times we're cracking them when we don't have exactly the lands we need to cast all our spells, so we just have to crack them to play this stuff, and then we lose them for good. And who knows when we'll draw the next one. So I mean, back when we had 8, we had pretty consistent Delirium. I mean, Revolt. I don't know. I keep saying Delirium, maybe because I'm still thinking of Dragon Race Channeler. But yeah, I think between the spell bombs and the Horizon lands themselves, we have and sometimes Liliana sending itself to the graveyard, or just random blocking with Gatekeeper or whatever have you. I think we've got enough enablers for Revolt, and even if we didn't have any enablers, Fatal Push is still just a very solid removal spell that deals with almost everything early in the game. So, in any case, I liked it. I know this seems a little janky, and there was something kind of elegant about having the ability to pitch Bloodghast or a Skyclave Shade with Collective Brutality and Liliana. But at the end of the day, like I think I said in a previous video, I was just dropping games against Domain Zoo and some other decks like that, and I just can't have that. I want to make sure that I have all of those decks fairly well covered, and then I just want to be able to have the sideboard focus on shoring up everything else. And I think that's what we're. I think this league showed that is a very viable strategy for how to take this deck. Still liking it without Luris. I have not given up the possibility of bringing Luris back. But Murderous Rider again is just both theoretically and just like it just dealt with a Jace, if I remember correctly, this league. It just outright dealt with it. I'm telling you, I know from experience, if I didn't have Murderous Rider, we would have lost on the spot. Without our ability to just swiftly end Jace right there and then, that's just GG. When that Jace landed, that was the end of the game if we didn't have Murderous Rider. So anyway, yeah, if you like this league, please do subscribe. Of course, this is my alternate channel where I play my alternate decks. My primary decks, have basically always been and probably will be for the foreseeable future. Mono red Obosh Prowess or Obosh Midrange now. Mono red Obosh Midrange and and mono blue merfolk, or it can be sometimes I can splash another color here or there, but most of the time I'm going to be on mono red and mono blue for each of those deck archetypes respectively. Because I don't know, those might be the only decks I end up actually owning in paper, because it's just so hard to keep up with all of these new cards that are constantly being printed, having to keep track of them, having to like order them, having to like deal with the ever expanding collection of cards that take over more and more space in your house. So anyway, yeah, definitely looking forward to doing more of this. Hope you all liked it. Thank you all so much for your support. Thanks to the patrons. Hope you're enjoying the shout out videos, and yeah, take care everybody. Until next time, peace.